Can you be spiritually gifted and blessed and yet remain spiritually immature? In 1 Corinthians chapter 3, Paul notes that those in Corinth were spiritually gifted, yet they remained spiritually immature. They were dividing over ministry leaders as if ministry was a competition. Paul urged them to grow up and not see themselves as consumers of personalities, but as God's temple, built to reflect His glory. Following is a summary of 1 Corinthians chapter 3. 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verses 1 through 4. Paul doesn't sugarcoat it. He calls out the Corinthians for their spiritual immaturity. Though they are believers, they're behaving more like spiritual infants than growing disciples. He had to feed them with milk, not solid food, because they weren't ready for deeper truths. Why? Because their actions, jealousy, strife, and divisions mirror the world's ways. When they align themselves with human leaders like Paul or Apollos, they prove they're still walking by the flesh, not by the Spirit. 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verses 5 through 9. Paul resets their thinking. Neither he nor Apollos is the main focus. They are simply servants working together in God's larger plan. Paul planted the seed by founding the church, and Apollos watered through his teaching. But only God causes growth. Ministry isn't a competition. It's a collaboration under divine authority. Paul describes the believers as both a field being cultivated and a building under construction. And in either image, the glory belongs to God, not to the workers. 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verses 10 through 15. Shifting into a metaphor of construction, Paul explains that Jesus Christ is the only true foundation. Every teacher, every believer builds on that foundation. But how they build matters. Some use gold and silver, work rooted in truth and love, while others use wood and straw, shallow, self-centered efforts. The day of Christ will reveal it all. Our works will be tested by fire. If they last, we'll receive a reward. If not, we may still be saved, but like someone escaping from a burning house with nothing left. 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verses 16 and 17. Then Paul raises the stakes even higher. The church is God's holy temple, His dwelling place through the Spirit. This isn't just a poetic image. It's a sacred reality. Anyone who tries to destroy this temple, whether through pride, division, or false teaching, is warned. God will destroy that person. Unity in Christ isn't optional. It's essential because we belong to something far bigger than ourselves. 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verses 18 through 23. Finally, Paul circles back to wisdom. If anyone thinks they're wise by worldly standards, they must become fools in the world's eyes to gain true wisdom from God. There's no value in boasting about human leaders, Paul, Apollos, or anyone else, because in Christ, all things already belong to believers. The world, life, death, the present, and the future, they're all ours. But even more, we belong to Christ, and Christ belongs to God. That is our identity and inheritance. Hey, thank you for listening. Consider liking and following. I upload a chapter summary of the New Testament each weekday.